What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris Mann. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Monday, July 21st, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's coming on with me today. She is a visual storyteller based out of Knoxville, Tennessee, WBIR Channel 10 TV. Her name is Jillian Taylor. And we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into journalism and ask her some get to know you questions. What's up, Jillian? How we doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you on. Again, you look absolutely lovely today. There's no question about that. Just want to throw that out there.
Thank you.
Um, I want to get to my very first question with you, and that is the same question that I ask everybody on this podcast, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models or any inspirations growing up? But ultimately, what led you into a career of journalism?
Hmm. Well, when I was little, by little I mean like middle school, I always ended up goofing off with video projects. I was always really drawn to it. I just did like a lot of history skits and fun stuff, like fun kid stuff.
Sure,
And
sure.
then I'm going through high school, and I was very, type A, overachiever. I've kind of always been.
Okay.
And I found that really the work that I did look forward to doing. I did quite a bit. I spent a lot of time outside of school doing work and projects, and my family was big on doing good work in an integrity way, not in a grades way. They were big on integrity and doing
Sure.
good work. And I found that I did well in classes. The thing I really always looked forward to doing and would stay up late doing, which in high school was staying up until like 2 or 3, was video editing. It was like working in Premiere Pro and putting together like a beautiful timeline. It was editing that really got me into videography. But I also I think there's a lot of media that's very distracting, and I think it can be like fictional media and entertainment media can really help people connect. I think that there's probably enough of it. I didn't really feel a pull to make more. So I wanted to get into finding a way to be working with videography, be editing, be working with cameras in a way that was adding more value
Sure.
to the world. And I found journalism and documentary work was the way I wanted to do that. When I went to college, I was not quite certain on what career I wanted. I kind of took some general classes and wasn't totally sure. I mean, I had a journalism degree, but it was all general classes. And then I got to do a documentary class where I was the producer for a documentary it had two directors. It was about racism at my university, and I was just the producer, and they were the ones creating, and I was the one doing call sheets and catering and marketing and a lot of logistic stuff. And
Sure.
I just had some really intense moments of a calling experience. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be in helping somebody else's vision come to fruition. So my ultimate goal is, while I do really enjoy videography and filming and editing and meeting new people every day, I also really, really love helping other people do that. And my ultimate goal is to help other people have creative projects.
I love that. I do. We're off to a great start on this conversation. That's a really cool why. I believe the film was what, hashtag Black X, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, hashtag Black
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's great.
yeah, absolutely. No question about that. Like I said, I was doing my research on you,
Yeah, you
so
were.
definitely, definitely,
Well, there
absolutely.
we go.
Yeah, no doubt. I know that you went to Southern. Well, first, I have to say, I want to know if I'm saying this right, because this is a hell of a high school name.
Yeah, right.
Waxahachie Global High School is what
Yeah,
you
say
went
it all
to?
British. It's Waxahachie. That's what.
Waxahachie. Okay, got you. In Texas, where I'm assuming that's where you grew up, in Texas. Um,
Mostly, yeah, mostly. My dad was in the Navy, so we moved a couple times when I was little, but then we settled whenever I hit like middle school. So I was in
Got you.
Texas for
Got you.
the
Okay, so Southern Methodist University, better known as SMU, is the college that you chose to go to. I know you had also some affiliation with Navarro College as well at your time going into high school. Talk to me about were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to SMU?
Oh, I think that SMU. I mean, I sort of didn't want to go because both my brothers went to A&M and my sister went to SMU, and I was like, that's just too cringy. Like the ag school, and then we go to like the
Right,
horse girl school. It's not a horse girl
right.
school. It's a horse.
Well, no, you're
Horse.
Mustangs. You're
It's the
Mustangs. So
Mustangs.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm very. I like to be different. I just tend to always try to be different for absolutely no reason, and so
Sure.
I didn't want to go to SMU. But then um, they were just so responsive. Honestly, they were. It's a really small school, and they give really great scholarships because it's such a well-funded school. They gave better scholarships than most other schools based on like academic stuff, and
Right.
I wasn't really sure about my major. I changed it a few times. I did end up going in for journalism, but to be honest, I have no idea the thought process that landed me on journalism because I wasn't like future journalist. I want to be a journalist. That was not me in high school. I took a journalism class and then dropped it for graphic design. So I think I was always
Wow.
drawn to media, in like a film, AV club, marketing, graphic design. I did always kind of tend to do that stuff, but I in no way was a journalism interested person. And I think that the conversation that went into me choosing journalism, I had already like I'd gotten into SMU, and
Hmm.
then I think I changed my major to like I was corporate communications in the beginning, and then I realized that sounded not fun, and I wasn't really excited for that, so I changed it maybe two other times, and I ended on journalism. I think just because it sounded cool, and I really didn't know what it meant or if I would love it or not. I don't really love writing very much. I knew I didn't really love writing, so how I ended up doing journalism, I don't know. But in my
Mm.
experience of talking with SMU, they were just so flexible. They were just I could tell that that was how my entire schooling time was, and that did end up being true. I had a journalism degree, but I also had a creative computation degree, which was just a mashup of like random 3,000 level classes that are it was they had to be in the art school, but they had to be technical, which was
Right.
very very broad. And that
Okay.
was exactly why I went to SMU is because I ended up with this like weird like I had a journalism major, but I also had like a film, computer science, religious studies major, and that was just totally a product of going to a small, really flexible school. And so I got really sold on that during just that like that stressful decision making time at the end of high school.
Sure. No, it's definitely a stressful time because
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest and transparent with you as well. Journalism definitely wasn't something I first jumped out at. I knew I loved sports. That's a genre that I'm in, and I wanted to do something with sports, and I wanted to do something with kids because I wanted to pay it forward. I wanted to get back, and I wanted to do something like that. But journalism, I was like, I mean, coming up in school, I was writing papers on like Moby Dick and writing papers on like really boring damn books. And it's like, I don't really like that. I don't like the writing part of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I found my love in writing when I was writing about sports because I'm very passionate about that. So I was like, if I could write something like this and get paid for it and write about sports all the time, I think I could lock in and do something like that. But at first, I wanted to be a math teacher. So I actually started taking like, type of classes for math until I got to calculus. I got to calculus, I was like, ooh, this might not be for me because calculus was pretty tough. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I pivoted as well to communication. So I totally understand what you're talking about and changing majors multiple times, trying to find the right one. And
Yeah.
eventually you did because look at you now.
Yeah.
Um, I want to ask you some favorite questions.
Okay.
And you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay, Jill? So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
I don't really cook, but I love the Costco ravioli. It's maybe
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Taco ravioli. So you like Italian food?
I like Italian food as much as any other food. I think it's just specifically that Costco ravioli. Give me any other ravioli and it's fine, but it's like a spinach and cheese one that I grew up with.
Okay. I don't think I never had that, to be honest with you. Now when I go to Costco, I'm gonna have to look for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I appreciate that. I'm a huge into tacos. Love tacos, so it doesn't matter if it's chicken, steak, or beef, turkey ground beef. I can whip that up really good, no question. So yeah,
Mhm.
I like that. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
This like shouldn't be my answer because it's not tasteful, but my first concert was a Kiss FM Jingle Ball, and I just remember it so vividly because it was huge stadium, and it was like just pop artists that I of course listened to, and I was in like middle school, and so it's not the coolest concert I've been to, but it's like the most seared in memory I have because it was so magical. I'd never seen music on that scale before.
No question. And I love those kind of festivals because you get multiple artists all the time. Music Midtown when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, because that's where I went to college at. I used to go there all the time. I love that. But probably my favorite concert is The Weeknd. I don't know
Mm.
if you know that artist, but that is definitely one of my favorites for
Yeah, I bet
sure.
they're
No.
cool. I can imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
A place we've traveled. I've traveled some, and I honestly would say that my favorite travel experience is probably just going hiking with my family in Utah. It was gorgeous. My parents had just gotten a Jeep, and it was during COVID, so we were all very cagey, and we just went like Jeep riding in Moab and then hiking and I, in like happiness and enjoyment. That's above all the like international travel I've done because it was just so peaceful. It was just family and outside and earth. So it's probably Moab, Utah would be my favorite.
Absolutely. I think you would like Canada a lot. If you ever get a chance to go there and hike there, I think you will definitely like it. Because that's a great place to go hiking too. I love hiking on mountains and stuff like that. It's great scenery, plus it's a good workout, so I like it too. But I would say my favorite place is Jamaica that I've ever been to. The scenery, the food, the people. I'm a beach and water person, so I love beaches, love water and just love very good weather. So that's for sure. So yeah, I like that. Um, I'm a sports person, so I definitely got to ask a sports question. So this is a two-parter.
Okay,
Favorite sports you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
definitely gymnastics on TV. I've not really been to gymnastics meets before in person besides the one that I was in when I was a kid. Uh,
Hmm.
Gymnastics is just so fun to watch. It's so exciting to watch. In person, hockey games are my favorite. They're so weird and aggressive in a very wholesome way. It's just my favorite fan experience has definitely been hockey.
Absolutely. And obviously, I'm very familiar with the town you're in, Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where I had my first sports internship at. If you're familiar with the Knoxville Ice Bears,
Yeah, yeah.
that is where I was over there. So obviously, I have a very strong affinity for the city of Knoxville,
Yeah,
Tennessee, because
that's great.
that's where the Women's Hall of Fame is, Sports Hall of Fame is. And like I said, that's where I used to catch the mega bus there all the time from
Mm.
Atlanta, Georgia, to go there to do the Knoxville Iceberg game. So yeah,
Oh, cool. That's
yeah,
awesome.
pretty cool. Yeah,
That's
thank
fun
you.
place to work for because they do some weird stuff.
They do. The Chuckapuck. That's where I learned where Chuckapuck was because I had no idea what Chuckapuck was prior to me going there.
That where
But
everyone
it's
buys the pucks and throws them out during
Mhm.
yep, yeah.
Yep, yep. And I unfortunately I got like pranked the very first time because they said, "Hey man, you should go on the ice for Chuckapuck." I was like, I don't even like this. I don't even like to skate. I mean, it looks pretty, but I can't really skate that well.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a sport that I would be terrible in, it'd be hockey because I can't skate.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked out on the ice and I'm slipping and sliding, and everybody is throwing their chucker
Are
pucks.
they soft? I don't
You
know.
you said what?
Are they soft, those pucks? I feel like they're hard, no?
They are hard. Yeah, they're hard. And I quickly got off the ice. Now I didn't get hit. Of course, because they were throwing at the bullseye. I didn't want to stay at the bullseye, but I was like, yeah, they're chucking them. I don't want none of those pucks to be bouncing and
No,
then hit me. None of that. So
no,
I'm
those are
good.
coming from pretty far up too. I would not want to be down there.
Absolutely not. So you're right. So yeah, I learned what chuck a puck was, and yeah, I said no more ice for me.
Tough way
I'm
to
on the
learn.
side. Right, right. Tough way to learn, right? Last of this, and this is a question because I'm a huge foodie. I know downtown Knoxville pretty well. But I'm gonna ask you anyway. What is your favorite restaurant to eat at in Knoxville?
Yeah, I have like a super easy answer. It's Cafe 4. It's just the only place that I go now when I'm going out to eat. I think I went with a coworker when we first moved here. We had the same. We both had Mondays off, and like
Mhm.
what are you gonna do on a Monday off? So we
Right.
went, we went to Cafe 4, and I got the fish tacos. First time I ever went, and I have probably had those probably a dozen times, and I'm convinced that it's like all handmade with love and care, and is better than all other food in Market Square.
I've heard about that cafe, but I've yet to go there. So, um, I'm definitely putting that on the bucket list the next time I go to Knoxville because I'm pretty sure I will go back there at some point because my favorite football team is University of Georgia. Go Dogs. Obviously being in Georgia, and University of Tennessee's in Knoxville. So I plan on going back to that stadium, and I will check out that cafe for
So,
sure.
yeah.
That's what's up. All right, that's what's up. I want to ask you about your day to day because as a visual storyteller, and as a journalist myself, I know 2 days are never the same. They're always different. Every day we come into work, there's a different story, different angle, different everything going on. That's kind of why we do what we do. It makes the job exciting because honestly, Jillian, if I was sitting at a desk 9 to 5 doing the same damn thing over and over again, I think I would go crazy. I don't know about you, but I would definitely go crazy. This is a job where you can meet all kinds of people and do all kind of stories. Talk to me about your process of getting ready to, especially with you being early in the morning, like you said, you 4 a.m. You mentioned. Talk about your process of getting ready. What time do you normally start? How many stories you normally do a day? What time do you normally get off? Different things of that nature.
Yeah, so I work the 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. shift. I am visual storyteller, which colloquially is a photog. So probably about half the time I'm running camera for other people. I'm running live shots for reporters,
Hmm.
or filming a package for an anchor, or grabbing. We have different terms. We have VOSOT and package. Those are the two main terms that I bet you know.
Yeah.
A VOSOT being you're just grabbing B-roll of something and it airs and the anchor's reading on top. And a package is a more involved thing where you're just making a narrative and voicing the story. So about
Right.
half the time I'm doing pretty simple photog behavior things, holding a camera for other people and grabbing footage for other people. And then the other half of the time I'm sort of a reporter. I go on camera occasionally, and I voice stories probably once a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. So it being on morning shift is the hours are not great, and you have to adapt your lifestyle to it or not
Yeah.
and suffer.
Yeah.
That happens.
Right.
But it does really free me up to do special project work because I'm not on that feed the beast 24-hour news cycle like the dayside. Like when something happens and the dayside editorial happens, they're like, okay, what are we going to do? And everyone gets assigned like the crime, the breaking news, the laws, the school stories. That's what happens dayside. Mornings, the morning reporter does do that. I, as the photographer, am a little bit more freed up to be working on feature projects. And if there's something very timely, I'll be on it grabbing something.
Sure.
But for the most part, like this week, it's I'm actually starting a podcast for WBIR. So some of my time is going towards setting up for that podcast. And
Hmm.
then in my other time, I do a series with local entrepreneurs. We go live with a local new business every Monday. So I've been setting up some Monday live shots, and some of those require pre-shooting packages. So it's a lot of, I mean, working in journalism is very much like being the master of your ship. Like it's my whole schedule is pretty much up to me, especially being a photog and especially being morning shift. The kind of stories I tell isn't it's for any reporter. The stories that you tell are what you found and you pitched and you set up and
Right.
you write. It's a whole lot of wide openness for you to be the storyteller. I think I was surprised when I got into the actual like corporate business world, how little rules there were. There's very much like there's training and there's ethics, but once it comes to actually doing the stories, it's really up to you and how you want to perform and how well you want to do stories. So, my days are a lot of I set up shoots ahead of time. So this week I have a few shoots set up for packages, and I'll split my time between running things for other people like live shots, and doing emailing and setting up stories, and actually going and getting those stories, and then coming back and writing and editing those stories. So it's a lot of creativity and autonomy, for sure. Journalism.
Absolutely.
It's great if you like independence and you like having a different day every day. I mean, just earlier I was going through my email from over the weekend and
Sure.
something in my inbox. I've been working on setting up a story about the Appalachian Trail and how they're recovering after Hurricane Helene. And I had an email in my inbox of the Appalachian Trail media person inviting me out to. It's a location about 2 hours away where they're repairing the trail, and they're having representatives from Japan come and give them advice on how to fix the trail. So after seeing that email, I'm probably going to spend about 5 hours tomorrow doing a round trip out to this Cherry Gap to film trail recovery. So your days can just change. I mean, as of an hour ago, I wasn't going to be doing that, but now 5 hours of my day tomorrow are going to be driving out to the middle of nowhere to film
Right.
and fix it.
Right.
So it just changes so quick.
It does. That's journalism for you, like you said.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty and the heartache of it is the beauty of it is you're going to do a story that potentially no one else has told, and this could be very interesting to some or many. Whenever you do, put the full package together. But then it's the driving part, and that's the stuff that Jillian people don't see behind the scenes, right? And that's why I kind of like to do this on my podcast, on my platform. Is I like to get people talking about their stories and about the behind the scenes part, because all they normally see is that reporter or anchor on the 5 o'clock or the 6 o'clock or the 11 o'clock or whatever that oh wow, they must have it made. They're on live, they're talking about stories, but they don't know the people behind the scenes and what they all have to do to get ready for them stories to get done. Sometimes it takes all damn day to get one story done.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, write, edit, shoot. Sometimes you're a one-man band on some of these stations, and sometimes you have to do makeup in the car. You don't have a glam team. Sometimes you got people that cancel on you as far as interviews go, and you got to pivot, and you got to pivot and do something else. But these are the things that people don't know before they get into the industry, which again, it's a fulfilling industry, but it's also something that you have to know the A side and the B side of it, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, I want to ask you about mental health and work-life balance. Because a lot of colleagues of mine, and I'm sure you've known a couple or a few as well, have left this industry because of their mental health. They've left this industry, sorry, because of work-life balance. News is all the time. News never stops. And I work in sports. Sports on nights and weekends. Many times where people are relaxing, hanging out, partying, doing what they do. If you're in sports, you're probably covering the game or covering some type of event. Talk to me, working as a visual storyteller. Talk to me about how you keep your mental health strong, but also still have that work-life balance. Because, Jillian, you seem like a wonderful woman to be around and, talk to and have fun. But you also seem very dedicated and passionate about journalism as well. So tell me how you keep those things strong without experiencing burnout.
I've had one little season of burnout, and I've been at this job for 2 years, and loved it almost the whole time. I had one season of burnout that was because of like working in news. We had like 3 tornadoes in like I think it was a 2 week period. And when a tornado happens and you are the only photog on a shift, um, the reporter and I who were on mornings were driving to wherever this tornado was every day for like 2 weeks,
Sure.
and our whole days was just being in wreckage and like talking to people whose sister passed away or who lost their home. And there's so much hope in these stories. There's so much powerful stuff. Like it's not like it's super unpleasant storytelling, because there's some really beautiful stories in disaster zones. I mean, there's some really really incredible displays of like human goodness. So the
Right.
storytelling is good. Um, it's it's just the weight and the I mean, just driving to a disaster zone every day and doing like really. I think the burnout is like doing such important work every day. It wasn't that the work is like so heavy and unpleasant, because it's worthwhile, but it's just so much brain space and like creative juice every day. And I think the hard part of journalism, for me, is not necessarily like if the story is happy or sad. It's more so that so many stories are important in
Mhm.
either direction,
Right.
that you don't have many uh, just normal stay the course days. I think when you are an out in the field person, like so many days require so much attention and care and effort. And I think using that much creative juice day to day is what makes burnout risky. Um, I think morning shift is also hard because sleep is a challenge.
Yeah,
My main
absolutely.
hobby is dancing, which is I do like live band dancing, which is all late at night, and so sleep is a wispy concept for me.
Right.
But I think that I love the job so much. I get just so many moments of feeling like it's an absolute privilege to have this job. Just the kind of people I get to meet. I mean, every week we go live with an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs are just so fun to be around, because they are people who were so passionate about something that they devoted themselves to it, and they're all of their money, all of their time. And so I just get to meet so many interesting people that I get a lot of moments of like sort of, it's like I check my burnout, of like what a privilege it is to be doing such um, interesting work, just like interesting, exciting work. That's honestly what saves me from burnout. It's not that I manage sleep well, it's not that I manage mental health well. I think I've escaped being truly burnt out because it's just like such a privilege to be a journalist. And I still feel that all the time. Even I struggled to hold on to it during the 3 weeks of tornado coverage, 2 weeks of tornado coverage. That was a lot. But otherwise, I just get so many regular reminders of how cool it is to have this job. Kind of scares
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. No, that's a great answer, Jillian. It really is. And I'm happy that you said that. Not a lot of people think it, I'm sure, but not a lot of people advocate about how much it is a privilege for us to be pillars in our community, for us to be a voice for the voiceless, for lack of a, better phrase. I mean, that's just what we love to do. We love to tell stories that haven't been told, and we love talking to people, and we love learning things. That's what I love to do. That's why I love writing about sports. Um, but it brings a great bonus question, and that is, you talked about it. Um, how hard is it sometimes for you to separate yourself from hard news stories? And how do you deal with that? Because sometimes hard news stories can be very tough, and you bring them home with you. A lot of people on my platform have definitely said that it's been tough to separate themselves. How do you deal with hard news stories?
I think there's sort of just some like naivety in how early I am in my career that I don't really have an answer for that.
Mm,
I I mean, I've done heavy stories and have honestly usually been really inspired.
okay, okay,
I have also like gone home and like cried at some random interaction after doing tornado coverage all day. So
sure,
like my body has like responded with emotion.
okay,
Like mentally, I don't think I've never like gotten a story has never like taken me down some rabbit trail mentally of hopelessness. And like honestly, the harder stories have been some of the more like inspiring, like check your privilege moments. And you know why I was in Asheville for a full week whenever Hurricane Helene hit? Like I was
Okay.
there Sunday through Friday.
Yeah.
I was in Irwin on Sunday, or I was in Irwin on Sunday, and then Monday through Friday I was in Asheville. And I've probably never, almost maybe never been more inspired. I don't think I've ever been so inspired by like human character, like the rallying that people did after that, and like the way that people supported each other in ways that they never do in day
Right.
to day life
Right.
was beautiful. And everyone, not everyone, we did not do any stories of people who passed away in the
Right.
time we were there. In general, the people that we talked to were just very grateful, very grateful. And there was a lot of sadness, but they were like grateful to be there, grateful to have help. You know, like it when they lost all the things, it was like anything good, they saw all of it, and we just don't usually see all the good stuff. And so heavy stories have honestly brought me just some really wonderful life perspective and have helped me see a lot of goodness in a way that lighter stories don't even always do.
Mm. I like that.
I
I
did an
love.
interview with I did an interview with a guy who's owned a morgue his entire career. I'm sorry, not a
Yeah.
morgue, a funeral home.
Yeah.
Um, it was a funeral home that's been in his family for like over 100 years, 150 years maybe, and he'd been personally running it for I think half a century.
Wow.
And this interview was just like I actually like recorded it and like saved the audio recording into like a little database of like life advice, because he was just like, when you're around this every day, like it teaches you so much gratitude. And I think journalism can be like that, where like when you're around the really heavy stuff, to me it doesn't make me heavier, it makes me like so much more grateful.
Sure.
And it
No.
makes the people in those moments so much more grateful, like so very grateful. And I found that even when people are experiencing really hard, tragic things, humans just always look for the upside. We always look for the positive twist. We always look for the meaning in things. So
Right.
people find this like really deep meaning to life because of this really tragic thing that happened, and it's incredibly inspiring to be there and be the person they're telling about it.
No question. No question about that. And I love that answer. It's a great answer. I got a bonus question for you, and it's about your dancing. How long have you been dancing? What is your favorite genre of dance?
So my favorite genre of dance is two stepping. That's kind
Hmm.
of my
Okay.
pocket. But I've been dancing for a long time. I did marching band, color guard, and flag twirling for like 8 years. In a pretty intense, like I did it pretty intense. I went about as far as you can go without becoming a professional color guard twirler, which is a thing. Uh,
Hmm.
and then when I went to college, as a way to just still move my body, I joined a country stunt dancing team. It was between that and hip hop, and I got somebody messaged me first about the stunt dancing team, so that's what I ended up doing, and that got me kind of into going out two stepping with my dance team friends. And then when I moved here to Knoxville, I moved here from 14 hours away. I'm from Texas, so it was a very big move. I didn't know a soul, and I wanted to go start social dancing in order to meet people. And that's also like on the mental health thing. Dancing is, I mean, like 90% of my mental health coping strategies. It's I think whenever the burnout and the heaviness that I experience from this job, isn't the heavy stories. It's the importance of the stories. It's the how much I have to be on, and having good thoughts, all day at work.
Right.
And so I get very tired, and it can be hard for me to socialize. I can be very kind of distracted in my head, and dancing is just super incredibly important for that for me, because dancing just it makes people relax. It gives you something to talk about, but it also releases all the happy chemicals in the same way that people like to go to run clubs or work out with friends. And it helped me to meet people and feel a lot more relaxed meeting people. And so dancing was is always something that I like dancing. It's fun, but it became such a big part of my life here in Knoxville. I think as a reaction to like how much mental energy my job takes. Dancing doesn't take much mental energy, and it just makes your mind relaxed.
Mm.
It releases all the happy chemicals.
Well, I have two left feet. Uh, dancing is, let me say this. I do enjoy dancing. I do enjoy music. I love music. That's a very passionate thing for me. If I wasn't writing about sports, I probably would be a music journalist, to be honest with you. I love theater as well. So I'm huge into musicals and plays. Um, but yeah, I have two left feet. I can't bust a move if you paid me to do it. It's just that bad. But I
Well, that's
do.
why two-stepping is my favorite genre, because
Okay.
two-stepping is the dance style for blue-collar men with two left feet. That's the style that it is right in the pocket for two left feet guys.
Okay, so
That's what I love.
maybe I need to go see that group that you're talking about when I come
Yeah,
out there in Knoxville and be
do
able
it.
to be able to learn a little bit of something, something. That'd be
It's
great.
beautiful because it's a very low barrier to entry dance style. We just get people from all over the spectrum. It's not dance nerds, which I really enjoy dance nerd communities. But what I really love about two stepping is it's like very age and job, and it's not just the dancer types. It really is an everybody place, and I feel strongly about like community that's not just based on being the same person. As much as that is fun, and all my closest friends are people that are very similar to me, but I think good community, like well-rounded human community, is like you've had very little in common, and you're learning about each other. I think that's very
No,
important. Dancing
no
is great for
question.
that.
No question. I feel
I mean,
like
that's
you can
a journalist thing, right?
absolutely, no
Yeah.
question. I feel like you can learn the most from people that are different. Because you're always going to have likewise people. You're always going to gravitate towards likewise people. People that are very similar to you. You're always going to gravitate towards them. But I think you can learn even a lot more from people that are different, different
Mm-hmm.
ethnicities, different backgrounds, different upbringings, all the above, because it just broadens your perspective on so many things in life. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
another reason why I like talking to people on here on my platform is that we're not just learning about who you are, we're learning about what you do, we're learning about jobs that you do. There's so many communicative jobs in this industry that people don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them has came on this platform on my podcast and they've explained what they do. And some of them have been interested based upon some of the explanations. And that's why I like to do what I do because you just learn about so many different things. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Um, Go ahead.
Well, the topic here is like the why of doing journalism, or I guess your why of what you do outside of journalism and all that. And I think for me, a lot of it comes down to um, I really want to understand like the whole world, which is a really big thing to jump at. But journalism is probably the best way you can do it. I mean, like
Absolutely.
you can travel, um, and I do enjoy traveling. It's very tiring traveling, and there's just so much to soak in. And journalism is like, it's not like I have to pay a bunch of money and go somewhere else and worry about safety and worry about transit. And journalism is like every single day I'm talking to somebody who I have no business talking to. Like I should not be. In my regular life, I would never encounter this person, and I'm just doing that. Like just this morning, I'm out at an elementary school, miking up one of their teachers, listening to him just greet every student, and just in the way my desires work, I'm like listening for like how he's making them feel relaxed. Like
Right.
how's he talking to them to make them feel relaxed,
Right.
and it's just like you get these insights into like people doing wonderful things, people doing important things, just all the time, all over the spectrum, like allergy clinics and teachers and people who've had 70-year long careers doing something and sports stars, and it's just like all over the spectrum of humanity and jobs. I'm talking to people who are really passionate about something, and I will never be able to understand the entire world, but it's very important to me to always be trying to get there. I don't know why that's so important to me. It just is. Um, and it's a way to just be traveling like every day, except to actually have a home and make myself dinner and have a bed while doing it.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
that. And that's a great segue because now I want to ask you about advice. Now, I know you said you're very young in your career. I've been doing this for the past 7 years, combination of Atlanta, Georgia, and now Minnesota, and soon to be upstate New York, which is going to be my next place that I go. And you've been in there for a couple of years as well. But I'm sure you probably get interns at WBIR, and I'm sure that there's people that have asked you. So, what kind of advice would you give someone that wants to be in broadcast journalism?
I was just talking to somebody Friday because we were in the car going to a live shot as an intern, and I told you I was very like type A, high, well performing all through high school and into my first probably year and a half of college. But I think I've come to realize that like having a career in an industry like this, something that's really like self motivated, very creativity oriented. Um, I just think it ends up being really draining when you are hustling for the sake of climbing, hustling for the sake of hustling, or just working hard always across all things out of necessity. I think I found, I did a lot of like leadership positions in high school and stuff, and when I went to college, I kind of abandoned all of it, and I sort of put all my energy in college into like trying to be known for kindness and like passion.
Mm,
And I spent a lot of time in like my not class projects. Like I did well enough in classes, and sometimes projects really lit me up, and I did them really well. But I believe really strongly in like the well-rounded humanness that doesn't really have to do with like corporate success. And don't get me wrong, I still believe in integrity and like following through on things you're supposed to do, and working hard to like respect the people around you.
okay.
But I think that the advice I was giving this intern who didn't ask for it, I was just giving her unprompted advice, is that like all of the doing well, I think like email etiquette, like I think that it's more important that you are sincere and kind in an email than you structure it really well. And that's just like I'm saying email etiquette, but I mean that like in general. Like I think it's more important that you are like sincere and kind in the way you pursue a project
Right.
than it is that you like do it really excellently. And I think that's what makes a career in this field more sustainable, which given I'm 2 years in, to take with a grain of salt, is I think like pursuing it in a really sincere way. Like, why is this is hard to explain, but like I believe in like pulling the threads that are available,
Okay.
the passion projects that present themselves, and following those projects as far as they'll go. And if you run out of thread, waiting and like just doing well and being reliable and good and basic until you find that next thread to pull, rather than like searching for things to endlessly be doing. Because I just think it's very, to use biblical language, it's like chasing after vapors, to just always be trying to do something big rather than waiting for like the correct big thing, the right big thing to present itself. And I think you have to be even enough that you make yourself available to the big thing whenever it comes. And that's how I feel professionally. Like at the end of college, I didn't apply to jobs
Mm,
at all. I just applied to this one, and it was based on like a strong recommendation and a few phone calls, and that was really an extension of this philosophy of like I'm tired of just working hard for the sake of working hard, and I want to wait for like the right kind of opportunities that really feel like they're for Jillian. And that's what this job was, and I felt so much clarity whenever it came up, and it was worth me putting all of my type A overachiever effort into it because it was the right time to jump on something.
yeah.
But I think if I had wasted effort on like jumping on other random jobs, I maybe would not have been available to be ready for this one when it came.
What ultimately what you did, Jillian, was bet on yourself. That's what you did.
Oh, it sounds like yeah.
You bet on yourself. And you won the bet. But that goes back to the hard work that you've put in. And that goes back to you being able to be patient, right? Because the main thing that I kind of got from what you were talking about was mainly just be patient, be still and be patient, because
Hmm.
you don't have to jump at the very first thing. You want to jump at the right thing.
Yeah.
And it's so hard sometimes for people to be still and be patient because, especially when you just graduate college, you're so anxious, right? You want to
Hmm.
apply for jobs, you want to jump at the very first thing. And I tell uh, kids now, uh, graduating out of college, that you do have to be still and be patient because you got to find the right situation, not just any situation. And there's a few factors that I tell them that they should do prior to them saying yes. One, you should take a visit. I don't know if you got a chance to take a visit, but I always try to tell people take a visit to where you're going. Um, you want to see where you're living. You want to see how it is. You want to see the environment. You want to see if it's comfortable for you, because some places are not for people, depending on where they move. Um, you also want to meet your staff. You want to meet the people there. You want to
Hmm.
know if you're going to be able to vibe with them, if they get a good vibe. A first impression is big, but you also kind of want to be there for about a day or two and just see how that goes. Um, you want to also understand where the important things are. Is the grocery store far away? Is there a doctor's office close? If you got to mail something. You kind of want to know those important type of buildings, and are you going to be close by them? Where are they? How long do you have to go to reach those? And I tell at least the high schoolers that I substitute teach, because I also substitute teach as well at times. Um, that is what you want to do when you're making moves for, especially a journalism job. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to move from your hometown where you're at for your first journalism job at least, and you're moving to a town that you probably have never been to. So you got to adapt and be able to be adaptable, and that's what journalism is all about. Journalism is all about change. So
Hmm.
that's the one thing that you have to adapt for. So I love your mindset of betting on you because you ended up not chasing or not applying to 20, 30, 40 jobs. You knew where you wanted to go and you was like, I want to go here. This is my fit. This is where I feel like is right for me. And so did they. And that's why they bet on you too, because they hired you.
Hmm.
So it's amazing to hear that.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I just do believe in that, and it does feel naive sometimes because I come from privilege in that I have a college education and that I have decent enough social skills to have an okay phone call conversation with an employer, all that.
Mhm.
Um, but I really do believe in like waiting for the thing that like sits in your soul and is the right move to take. And if you haven't found it, then you haven't found it, and you just have to keep waiting and making yourself available and meeting people, and showing up places until it's like that time to jump. And call me in 10 years and see if that's still my philosophy. Because I think you have to be practical. You have to have a way to make money and pay for an apartment and all that.
Mhm.
Um, like there's follow through in it, but I think waiting to jump does work. And I
Yeah,
think if you jump at too many things, you kind of make yourself unavailable for jumping at the right.
absolutely. Absolutely. It will definitely change, Jillian. There's no question about that. It will definitely change in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll also be more seasoned in what you're doing. Your perspective is going to change. Your mindset is going to change. Your life is going to change. Everybody's life is going to change. I graduated in 2021 with my undergrad, and I just got my master's this year. So I my life is going to change in 10 years as well. So it's no question about that. But to bet on yourself and to really come through like that is a huge accomplishment. Because, like I said, many people would not do that coming out of college. It just wouldn't. But I'm happy to hear that you did, and now you're doing great work there at WBIR. So I love
Mhm.
that. We have reached the portion of the podcast now that we're going to play my interactive game called This or That. So it's a game I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's really simple, Jillian. I get to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So for the second time, I'm going to ask you, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, if you had to choose one to eat at, which one would you choose? KFC or Popeyes?
KFC.
I like that. Soft
KFC.
spoken too. I like that. KFC. I like that. That's what's up. If you had to choose a flavor to put on chicken wings out of these two, which one would you choose? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper, for sure.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Dry and then I add wet.
Okay. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Boneless.
So you like more meat.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
like when it feels like an animal.
I feel
I'm
that.
sorry.
I feel no, that's okay. You don't like the struggle. It's okay. You just want to eat the meat. I want to eat the meat too. I'm with you. Do you do you eat it with a fork?
No. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I got you. There are some, you'd be surprised. There are some that's been on this platform now that said they will not get their hands messy and they eat it with
Oh, come
forks.
on.
Yes,
My,
absolutely.
my
Okay.
21st birthday, I went to medieval times. You've been to medieval times?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. For my 21st birthday.
Absolutely. In Georgia, it's actually located in Sugarloaf Mills, which is over there in Lawrenceville, Georgia. It was like 25 minutes from Atlanta. It was one of the most craziest spectacle things I've seen ever. I mean, I've never been there before, but I definitely will go back. I loved it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
fun.
that's what's up. These next four questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend. Okay, what would you say is your favorite genre of music, or do you listen to everything?
My favorite genre of music is anything that sounds like John Bellion music.
Okay,
He's a specific artist, and he's genre. You can look him up. He's genreless, and he'll give you like 8 different answers for what genre is. He is. He's
okay.
somewhere in hip hop, pop, gospel, alternative, indie.
So
But
you
anything
rock.
that sounds like it.
Yeah, you rock with it all. Okay, so here we go. The first one is which concert, if you had to go to it, would you rather go to? Rihanna or Beyonce?
I think Rihanna would be more fun.
I like that. Okay. Going against the grain there, not going with the beehive. Okay. I like that. Which music concert would you rather go to? Carrie Underwood or Taylor Swift?
Carrie Underwood. I'm kind of a Taylor Swift world franchise hater.
You
Don't mind the
answered
late.
that so quick, Jillian. Like you are
Yeah,
not a fan of Taylor Swift.
I'm a little tired of it. I'm sure she's wonderful, but I'm a little tired of it.
I feel you on that. It is a
Even
lot.
my friends say it, but man.
Okay, I'm with you. Which music concert would you rather go to? Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
I think Kendrick Lamar would be more fun right
Okay,
now.
okay. Right now we 3 for 3, girl. Because I would have named all three of those. Okay, let's see if we can keep it 4 for 4. Which
Oh,
music
pressure.
concert would you rather go to? This is going to be a different genre. Would you rather go see AJR or Panic at the Disco?
That's very tough because AJR is a lot like John Bellion.
Hmm.
What actually one of the few artists that sounds like him. But Panic at the Disco has so much. I think Panic at the Disco.
Yep.
I think there's too much. There's too much nostalgia and just it's too iconic. There's too many like dorky kid memories to Panic at the Disco. Even though like now I prefer AJR. I think Panic at the Disco would be more fun.
Yeah, Panic at the Disco. Yeah, they kind of broke up. I did hear they was coming back for a reunion concert, but Those are two of my favorite bands, so that's why I threw those out there. I love AJR and I love Panic at the Disco. So yeah, huge fans of
That
those.
was the hardest choice for sure out of all of them.
No question, no question.
Yeah.
Okay, did pretty good with the music. Which sport, if you had to watch on TV, would you rather watch? Basketball or football?
Watch on TV.
Mhm.
Basketball. Now, if it's like about like who I'm with, football, obviously, because the crazy camaraderie of watching football. But basketball is very exciting. That's like I think basketball and hockey are my like two favorite to watch. It just moves
Absolutely.
so quick. It's so fun to watch.
You get no argument out of me. Basketball is my favorite sport. So, and I love
Yeah.
football too, no question.
Mhm.
Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
I think badminton. Bowling is just a lot of. It's just not. It's just a lot of sitting. It's not very exciting. You're like sober and just. It's not very exciting. I think badminton would be more fun. I like moving around.
The hitting the birdie a little bit. I like you. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Do you like desserts?
I do.
Okay. I'm gonna name four different desserts categories. And what you have to do is pick one of these categories that you'll never eat again. Okay, so here we go. The first one is ice cream. The second one is cake slash pie. So they're grouped together. The third one is candy. The last one is cookies. Which one are you getting rid of?
Definitely cake and pie.
Okay.
Cake, if those are mixed together, cake is just always so sweet. And pie is good. I would be sad to lose that, but I also don't love fruit in my desserts. It's not always my favorite.
I'm not a huge fruity person either. Although strawberry like shortcake or cheesecake is not terribly bad. But I'm not a person that likes fruit a whole lot in my desserts. But I would ask this: what is your favorite ice cream?
Hmm. It's ever changing. Okay. I usually really like the half baked, like Ben and Jerry's, which I guess is a non-answer because it's like seven different kinds mixed together. It's like
Right.
brownie and chocolate chip and vanilla and chocolate and so non-answer being the half baked one.
Okay. I'm a huge cookies and cream person, so I love me some cookies and cream. I'm very original like that. But
Hmm.
I also will take a double stuffed Oreo package and then I will crush the double stuffed Oreos into the cookies and cream, and then that's what I would do. So I'll crush like four or five of them in there. And
That's great.
it's pretty good. Um, do you like potato chips?
I do.
Okay.
Potato chip.
So same format. I'm gonna name four different brands of potato chips. You have to choose one of these you'll never eat again. So here we go. The first brand is Pringles. The second brand is Ruffles. The third brand is Lay's. The last brand is Doritos. Which one are you getting rid of?
I think Lay's. I would probably get rid of.
I would say you on point like a period, Jillian. That's what
Well,
I would say.
very nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Now,
actually did a lot of research on you for
I
this.
bet you did. And I'm happy that you did. I really am. Tell me, what is your favorite potato chip?
Like brand
Yeah,
or like
absolutely. Oh yeah, and brand.
I don't think this isn't a potato chip. I don't have a potato chip answer. I don't like potato chips that much. I mean, I eat them. They're out. Like they're fine if I'm hungry.
Hmm.
But I get the Doritos Dynamitas a lot, which
Okay.
is actually not an answer to your question because it's not a potato chip. I think it's tortilla. But they're delicious. That's like the only chip that I buy.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen, I'll accept that because I don't know what they are, to be honest with you. I've never heard of
Nice.
them. But I will accept that. And that's pretty good. You did pretty good on a this or that. You was very, very decisive and you know your lane and you stayed in it. I love that. And that's what's up. Um, I love asking this next question, especially to journalists, and that is give me a top four bucket list of events or stories that you would like to do in your journalism career.
What's on my mind right now, because I'm getting into podcasting, actually starting a music podcast this
Mm,
week. And a story that I'd really like to do, because I just would like to develop this muscle is I want to do like an audio experience of a concert. That's a very recent dream though. That's not like a long-term dream. That's just right now I really want to develop that new skill set. Take a
Okay.
mic with me into an event and create a story out of it. A story that I've been wanting to do for longer is figuring out where two-stepping came from. Two-stepping is very hard to pin down because country folk don't document themselves dancing very well, or
Right.
themselves at all very well. And so I'm very curious to know like how dancing has come in and out of Knoxville.
Mhm.
That's something I'd be very interested in researching and also figuring out where to research. I've like got like the newspaper clippings for it, but people aren't documenting everywhere that there's two-step happening. So that's a story I'm very, very interested in. I'm very interested in climate stories and in homelessness stories as broader categories.
Okay.
And also religion stories. I guess I'm giving you more than you said. You said 4, right?
I did, but that's okay. We're gonna rock with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Religion, homelessness, and climate are things I'm very interested in and have done storytelling in before.
I like that. I do. Those are 4 unique categories, or several, I should say, unique categories to talk about. I would
Yeah.
love to hear that two-step story because I want to know where that originated from too. That's
I
for
know.
sure.
That'd be fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. What is some advice? We talked about advice you would give, but what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Uh, can you give me a more specific category of advice? Like in career or like in
Well, it could be career or life, either one, or you could take one from each. But yeah, I would say either one of those, whichever one you feel more comfortable sharing, or if you want to share both,
a piece of advice?
that you hold on dearly to.
Hmm.
I see the wheels turning, Jill. I see the wheels are turning. This must
Yeah, I
be a
don't think
pretty good question.
well, I don't think a specific piece of advice really springs to mind
Okay,
immediately. Like I don't think there's a single guiding piece of advice that I think of. But the only thing that I was thinking of just now was just like my mom in like 10 different ways, like 10 different phrases she's always said to me.
sure.
Um, One that's on a board in my house is like um, she uses the phrase a lot. She uses the word like fiercely loved. She does that a lot. She will remind me about that I'm fiercely loved by my parents. And so she has a lot of phrases like that that uh, really come to mind as I go through life away from my family. But maybe not a singular motto that I've taken from her. Just a whole lot of support and be yourself and you're loved mantras that go through my mind.
Hmm. Okay, I can respect that. Let's um let's talk about the podcast. You talked about a podcast that you're going to be doing. It's a music podcast. How many podcasts do you plan on doing a week? How long is it going to go? What is the origins behind it? Like, what made you want to do this music podcast? And lastly, if you are looking for people to be a guest on it, I wouldn't mind being one, but that might not be that kind of podcast. I'm just throwing it out there though.
I appreciate the ask. It's a Knoxville music podcast. So it's the origin story was I had pitched a news podcast to my news director, and then he came back with like an audience oriented, counter offer. I guess he still I could still do a weekly news podcast if I wanted to, but
Hmm.
he assigned me doing a music podcast, which is something that I had asked about doing a series about new music releases for the station because
Sure,
we have a lot of really really talented artists who are making original music in Knoxville,
sure.
and I just think that that is like in the same way that entrepreneurship in business is makes for really good stories. I think entrepreneurship in music makes for really great stories. So I wanted to do some kind of regular series about new music releases. But then I think that sparked some ideas in his brain, and he assigned me just a full music podcast. So right now it's bi-monthly, but may go to weekly depending on what the lift is looking like. And it's going to be in the beginning, I'm going to start with kind of just conversations with local influential folks who, specifically those who do with like media, like journalism in music. I'm going to talk to some people on it, and then it's going to transition into doing episodes about new music by artists who are in and around Knoxville, and just some of the stories behind albums, songs, how much work they take, why people have devoted so much of their brain and energy and life to doing them. And then eventually that storytelling is going to then move into feature storytelling, where I'm telling stories like the history of two-stepping and those kind of things, audio experiences of concerts. So
Okay.
kind of a three-part progression and like how complicated the episodes get. And I start filming those this week. So that's a totally fresh new project that's happening.
I would love to listen to it. Where can people listen to it once you get done doing the podcast?
Yeah, so it'll first be on streaming and on our traditional broadcast product, and then eventually, once there's some episodes banked, they'll start to go to Spotify, I believe.
Okay.
So that's kind of a later decision for like, is this working? Should we adjust what this is?
Hmm.
And if it's working and we like what it is, then it'll start to go to Spotify.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing you do your thing on that. That's for sure. 'Cause I
Yeah.
think you'll be an amazing podcaster. I really do.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
no question about that. I want to do some rapid fire with you. And what that is I'm just going to throw some things out at you. And the first thing that comes to your mind, Jillian, you just shout it out with glee. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Chicken or ribs?
Chicken. Chicken.
Juice or soda?
Soda.
Red or blue?
Red.
Favorite Netflix TV series?
Gilmore Girls. It's Netflix, yeah. Gilmore Girls.
That is definitely a classic. No question about that. Um, I've watched a few episodes of that. But I'm a One Tree Hill guy. If you remember that
Mm,
show, if you
I've
remember
seen
that.
it.
Okay,
Seen it.
got you. Enough said. But I like basketball too, so that's why I was right.
Yeah, of course
I,
you would like it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
good. It's
right,
good.
right. I digress.
Didn't they take it off?
It
It's gone now, right?
it is gone,
Yeah.
but that was one of my shows back then for sure.
Yeah. It's good.
Um, favorite board game.
Telestrations, is that a board game? Telestrations. Just had fun playing with my family. It's like Pictionary, but
Hmm.
uh, telephone. So you do a drawing and you pass it around, messing up the drawing more and more and more until it becomes something
Wow.
unrecognizable.
Okay, that is the
It's really
first
fun.
I've heard of that. I've never heard of
It's cool.
Telestration before.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty cool. Favorite card game.
Egyptian rat slap.
Say
It's a
what?
really aggressive. It's ERS, is what we call it. We learned it in like band UIL. You like all go around putting cards down, and if there's like doubles or sandwiches, you all slap it, and it's like it's just super aggressive, super
It
competitive.
sounds like anytime you have slap in the game, that's definitely aggressive.
Yeah,
No
well,
question.
there's like a blood drawn kind of
Mm.
game.
Okay, Egyptian rap slap. Okay, got you. Um, favorite alcoholic drink.
Rum and Coke, Cuba
Mm.
Libre, the fancier term, but rum and
Okay.
Coke.
All right now, girl. Hey now, you gonna get me blushing in a minute. You know how hard that is with my pigmentation. That's pretty
Mm,
hard. I love rum and coke. That's my
mm,
favorite. That's my
really
favorite drink. It is. Um, favorite. I would say sandwich.
favorite sandwich. Uh, I get a Subway sandwich probably 3 times a week. It's like a turkey and something. They know what it is. It's like a Chipotle turkey sandwich. You get that like 3 times a week. It's
Got
pretty good.
you. Got you. I'm huge into steak or chicken. And turkey as well. Those are my three
Nice.
favorites. If you had a choice to bring three people with you on vacation, who would those three people be, and where would you go? Now, you can choose friends, family, or celebrities.
Um, oh, just my family. I'm not even gonna say three because there's more than my family. Just my family is all I go with.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where would you guys go?
Pretty sure Moab, Utah again. I don't know. Where would we go?
You can go
I
anywhere
think
in the
we'd
world
go
on
to,
vacation. Anywhere.
I don't think I'd care. I think I'd go to like any cabin. It could be in Oklahoma. I don't know. That's a
Okay.
lame answer, but I just want to be in a cabin with my family. We'll say we'll be in a cabin in Liechtenstein,
You know
just
what?
to make It's a Liechtenstein is a little country outside of Switzerland. I only reference it because weirdly it's like the longest cabin stay I've ever taken was in Liechtenstein.
Hmm.
It's basically Switzerland. Don't tell
Okay,
Liechtenstein I said.
okay. I ain't mad at that. Now, if you had a chance to listen to three artists or three songs on repeat and never get tired of them, who would those three artists or three songs be?
Um, on repeat. Well, who I already do that with is John Bellion, Chris Stapleton, and Ed Sheeran.
Oh,
Who I already do
okay.
that with. So,
That's three different kind of sounds, but at the same
yeah,
time, that's really good. Really good. I like all those artists, no question.
yeah.
If they came to you and said, Jillian, you can only do one of these roles for the rest of your journalism career, and that is be a photographer or be a reporter. So be behind the scenes or in front of the camera. Which one would you do?
Oh, behind the camera. That's pretty much my job already. I really enjoy it.
Mm, okay,
It's
okay.
a lot more fun and a lot less pressure to be behind the camera.
I was going to ask you, do you ever see yourself going in front of the camera?
I don't really care either direction. Like I don't have any. I think some stories are better when you're on camera.
Yeah,
Um, and it is nice to have my face on a story because then you remember that a person made it.
I love it.
um, there's definitely an issue in broadcast of photogs don't get credited super well for their work. So I enjoy when I get credited for my work. Um, but I don't have any dreams of being consistently on camera. No,
That
I
I
just
would you just answered it. I was just about to go there because I know a lot of photogs don't get a lot of credit at times
mm-hmm,
for the work that they do, which is kind of crazy because
mm-hmm,
you know the on-air talent is nothing without the photog. I mean,
right.
we're kind of hand in hand. So um, I totally understand that. This has been a really dope and enlightening conversation. Just talking to you about your why of growing up in Texas. Not initially wanting to be in journalism, but pretty much it falling into your lap and you falling in love with it. From your days of doing the for producing the short film Black X to going to SMU, which is a big time school there in Texas. At least their football team is big time now. That's for sure. Graduating there, and now at WBIR as a visual storyteller. Now there is a colleague of yours that I definitely want to get on here that also works at WBIR. And I'm not sure if you know who she is, but her name is Emily Ray.
Mm-hmm.
So you do
Pretty
know.
small news.
Mhm. Absolutely. She's somebody who I definitely want to get on. I am hopeful that you can possibly help me out with that. Hopeful. But
Have you reached out to her? She responded.
no. Uh I have reached out. Yes, she's responded. I've reached out again, but she has not responded back.
Okay.
So um just definitely throwing it out there for sure. I like to do that when I try to meet up with or try to link up with people in the same station. I try to throw out
Mm-hmm.
their names as well because everybody's story is different. And she's obviously in the same genre as me. Sports, I think, would be a very, very good podcast conversation for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, if she's seen it, I'm gonna leave it up to her. She's seen it and she's seen the podcast. I'm gonna leave it up to her
Yeah, that's
to
what I
connect.
don't know. I have no idea if she has or not. That's why I was throwing
Yeah.
it out there for sure.
Okay.
But
I'll make sure
uh,
she
but at the
knows about the option.
But yes, absolutely. No doubt about it. But yes, I do appreciate you being on my podcast because it's been absolutely amazing talking to you. I think you're amazing. You're going to be doing great things, and I'm a new fan of yours. And my final question to you is there anything else that you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I like that question. It's always a good ending question. But I
Of
think I'm good.
course.
I'm happy with the ground we covered.
Of course. You know, I'm a natural at this, a natural
Mm-hmm.
journalist at this, for sure. I want you to enjoy your Monday and enjoy the rest of your week. You and I will definitely be in touch.
Thank you for the conversation. I enjoyed it.
I did too. Take care.
Wonderful. Have a good one.